Hello, my wonderful viewers, and welcome to another episode of Betty Adams Overanalyzes. Today, we're going to take a trip in the Wayback Machine and take a look at one of the earliest videos I did. The quality is really sad. I was experimenting with different ways of making video, and this time I decided to record on my camera and just see what would happen. So I aimed the camera at a little flickering candle, and I analyzed Greef Carga and Carl Weathers. Now, the reason I did this was that there was this was right after The Mandalorian had come out. We hadn't seen much of either Carl Weathers or his character Greef Carga, and people were wondering why Weathers was putting off such a subpar acting job, which really kind of struck me by surprise because I thought the acting was excellent. So I listened to what people were saying, and I really started to understand. Greef Carga is a bad actor. Carl Weathers is an excellent actor who can do the amazing job of playing a bad actor acting poorly. So, here's what happened. So, Greef Carga is in charge of the Bounty Hunter Guild on Navarro, and he has to put up a front. He was a magistrate from an old imperial planet who had been kicked out and disgraced, probably even before the war was over. So he'd been kicked off of some imperial planet for being a bad manager, but he was a manager. And with the empire in charge, he could have been a legitimately bad manager and might have been mismanaging things, or he might have actually had a moral code and gotten kicked out because of that. He did get hired by the Bounty Hunters Guild, so he does have some skills. However, people skills are not really top on his list. Whenever he's interacting with the members of the Bounty Hunter Guild, he's awkward and stiff and clearly putting up a front, essentially acting, and Greef Carga is a bad actor. However, later in the episode, when you see Greef Carga interacting with the Mando in all honesty, when Greef Carga is no longer lying or deceiving or putting up a front, you get to see Carl Weathers acting, and he was a really good actor. And people responded well to that first analysis I did, but now I have really good evidence. So now I'm going to play the clip of where Greef Carga is acting. He's acting like he's sympathetic with Mando, and acting like he has feelings for little baby Grogu, or the child, as it were. So, this is that scene.
This little bug was what all the fuss was about. What a precious little creature. I can see why you didn't want to harm the hair on its wrinkled head.
And would you look at that? Greef Carga is a very poor actor. I'm sorry about the sound quality for the clip. That's just how the recording went, but you get the idea. He's stiff, he's awkward. Greef Carga is clearly just trying to pull one over on Mando, and Mando's having none of it. But Season 2 has provided us with a near perfect image of this scene, but Greef Carga is being sincere, and so now you get Carl Weathers acting and interacting with the child. So, here comes Carl Weathers to greet Mando as Mando and Baby Yoda come back to Navarro to get the ship fixed after smashing it into the ice on the ice planet. And Greef Carga is thrilled to see Mando and thrilled to see little Grogu. And he picks up little Grogu and he just starts cooing over him like a grandfather. And if Carl Weathers is acting, that's fantastic acting. Now, there is a theory floating around that he just put it in his contract that he got to just hold Baby Yoda and play with him during the episode a lot. But be that as it may, this is Carl Weathers acting.
And you come here, little one. Has Mando been taking good care of you, huh? Have you been taking good care of him? Yeah, he said yeah. Yeah.
Note the difference. Note how much more fluid and natural he is. So, again, this is just a restatement of my original thesis, and hopefully at a much better video quality. Carl Weathers is an amazing actor. Greef Carga is a lousy actor, and Carl Weathers is doubly amazing because he's a good actor playing a bad actor, which is really hard to pull off. Now, I do have one caveat to this dynamic where Greef Carga is a bad actor and Carl Weathers is a good actor, and that caveat is when Greef Carga knows he's in the right, when he's standing on firm moral ground, he does seem to be able to put up a good act, as it were. As we see when the X-Wing pilot shows up and starts grilling him. Carl Weathers very rarely directly lies to him, but he does hide the fact that Mando was there very well. I mean, the X-Wing pilot isn't fooled, but Greef Carga put on a very convincing act. Which means, conversely, that when he was acting poorly, that probably means he was morally unsure of himself. So he's able to be more confident when he's morally assured of his footing. Also, if I got a chance to direct an episode, I too would put in my contract that I got to carry around Baby Yoda and coo over him like a grandpa or an auntie. So, kudos to you, Carl Weathers, for living the dream. And that's basically all I have to say. It's a short video, but that's what it is. All right, go check out my book if you want to buy my book, Dying Embers, if you want a chance to break your heart over another baby alien. Check out my Teespring store if you want to buy some cool Humans Are Weird merch. And I will see you later.